us live on the Sherry Lord Talk Show podcast. Start your day off with the Higher Vibrational Podcast with weekly guests covering spirituality, healthy foods, and so much more. Go to sherrylord.com for more info. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. We're so excited to have Rachelle Gehman. We're so happy to have her. She is the heartfelt psychic medium, and she is from the heart. She is one of the very few people that are very authentic, and she really can nail everything you need to know about her. And I tell you one thing, and the people that her loved ones come through very easily for her. So we're happy to have her. And I do want to just do a short introduction about her. Rachelle has worked as a psychic medium for over 10 years and still sees clients regularly. As a niece of the world-renowned psychic medium, Reverend Annie Gehman, she was mentioned by her aunt at a young age to utilize her gifts naturally. Rachelle is a keynote speaker and a regular speaker at many events around the U.S. She speaks and holds workshops on many spiritual topics, including expanding your consciousness of universal consciousness, meditation, and how to develop your mediumship naturally. She is an author of The Heartfelt Medium, How to Develop Your Mediumship Naturally. We are going to be scrolling her information on the bottom. And I just want to say thank you and welcome, Rachelle. We're so happy to have you. And can you elaborate on what we just talked about? Because I know people want to know more about you, and we would just love to hear a little bit more about you. And then we'll go into her topic today is how to navigate the collective consciousness of fear and paranoia and stay in positivity. We love that. We're scrolling her information down. Make sure you get her book. We're going to be showing that at the end of the show.
Oh, thanks so much, Sherry. It's so good to be here. It's so good to work with you again, too. You know.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah, with the different forums and so forth that you had provided, it was really wonderful, and it's great to connect again. So a little bit about me, and it's so hard to talk about myself, right? But because I'm really dedicated and committed to spirit. And a little bit about me is I grew up very naturally, in a family that considered that this was all natural. My grandmother, aunt, on my dad's side, and it was very natural for us to really do this. And unlike a lot of people where they get shut down as a child, I was really allowed to blossom, and we did that with all the kids, that we could explore that. But what happened was, as I grew up and went to school and became socialized, a lot of times I actually was isolated because I thought everyone grew up like that, So it was a challenge for me that when I started talking about this stuff, that it was really not considered natural. And so I had to kind of, I wanted a sense of belonging. So as
you did.
Friends, and so instead of isolating myself, I kind of, put it off to the side for a little bit, right? And then, I used it for myself quite frequently, and and then what I ended up doing was stepping back into it after college and getting the corporate job. I always used it for myself, but I really didn't look at it as kind of a thing to help serve spirit. And when I stepped into that, I can tell you that I stepped into the wholeness of who I was finally. And I felt like everything came together, and I'm grateful for that. And, we all have healing to do and so forth. And so I started working on my healing, and I started taking classes because I wasn't trained in the conventional sense. I was trained by my aunt and by my mother. My grandmother, when I was a little girl, she would, she was very good at automatic writing. So she would put a pen in my hand and say, now, listen, you got to sit quietly and spirit will come and give you a message and write it down. And so it was really quite, that's how I grew up, and it was wonderful. So when I finally stepped into my mediumship, things started to flow, and then I started seeing clients and so forth. But I also took classes. I took classes for healing, to remove some of the things to really step in. Because as we release things, more gifts can come in, and so we have more room for our gifts. But the one thing that I want to tell everybody in my messages is that this is our birthright. This is something that we all have. And it's something that when we're younger we have, but what happens is our pineal gland in the brain is wide open. And then as we become younger, it starts, or I mean, as we become older, it starts to shrink, and so we kind of stop that information that flows into us, but we can keep it going. And certainly there's a lot of awakening that is happening, and especially people who have had near-death experiences, all of a sudden their gifts just blow open and they don't know what to do with it, and they don't know how to control it and so forth. And so and they see the illusion of this world, and it's just amazing how that can happen. And so one of the things that has happened recently, and kind of getting into the topic, well, just to let everybody know that I do have classes available on my website. It's RachelleGehman.com, and there's a tab of classes and events, and I have a class out there. The link is linked, and I have over 32 lessons out there, but we're actually doing it live right now. So people can actually, we're on week 3 coming up. So if they want to join, they can catch up because the recordings are out there. And there's a lot of content for people to really, to dig into. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for joining. It's good to see you. Yeah. And so with that, I guess just to jump into the topic today, right? And
it's exciting.
Yeah. So, what I was thinking about a topic, and one of the challenges that we've all had recently is that, my computer went, sorry.
Well, I can still see you. I know we had some difficulties, but we worked out the technical issues. So we're doing good.
Yeah. So one of the challenges that we've had with, is kind of navigating the negativity that is out there, right? I mean, there's so much fear for so long, and then how do we get past that? And it's continuing with the news and all these different events that are happening globally. What do we do? Well, I can tell you that there's a lot of light workers out there that are shining the light, that are really pushing forward the positivity. And, and we have this way of doing it that I thought it could be shared with a lot of people, because the negativity can be so strong. And also too, even one-on-one, when someone comes up to you and they're very negative, and say we have a wound and we're triggered by it, what can we do in that moment, that's really helpful? And really the flow of energy and the breath is so important. And we do have control over our minds and our hearts and our emotions. And it's one of the things that I've learned in some of the classes that I've taken is, they say the secrets of the universe are energy, frequency, and vibration. And from a human instinct perspective, it's very, we do it instinctively where we match somebody's vibration. Okay. And so we do that. So all of a sudden, if somebody's very negative, we can go there, we match it. And it's something in the human condition where we just do that. And so if we're aware of what is happening, what we can do is we can just take a moment and take a breath, just take a breath and go to neutral and bring love into our hearts. Just bring love into our hearts and project it out from the heart out into the room, and just, with the breath. And then what we're doing is and then we stay in that positivity. We can, allow people to have their thoughts and have their opinions. Mm-hmm. And we could just say, this is not my circus, not my monkeys, and I choose to be in love. And we don't have to like take people to task. We can just stay in that moment where somebody's not impacting us, but we're pushing our light outward, right? And
Yes.
so that's what my message is that a lot of times what we have to do. And even in the moment, like, we could be, one of the things that women want to do is fix everything. Like, if somebody's not feeling right, or they're having their moments of, struggle, we want to step in and make it everything okay. And what I want to say is that it is a free country. And as people are doing this, we don't have to solve it for them. We can allow them to have that struggle and just take a moment and say, not my circus, not my monkeys, and just allow them to have that, have that opinion or whatever, and just, breathe and say it's going to be all right, because we want to fix everything and we want to solve everything. A lot of times we can't. And people get upset and they'll get over it. They just need to calm down, and we don't have to fix it for them. But at the same time, we can stay in our joy, you know? So to me, I don't know if I'm expressing this right, but I really want to give people the tools and understanding the flow of energy, and that it flows from us outward as well, instead of us taking everything on. And if we mistakenly take it on, we can then just take a breath. And just what I do is I imagine a hole in Mother Earth, like she's opened something up, and I imagine this pink light coming up. And then I actually take the energy and I send it to her for healing, and I call back my energy. So, it can be overwhelming where we get caught off guard. Like, that does happen. And so, what can we do if we've already absorbed that energy? We can release it to Mother Earth for healing, or release it to our guides and have them take it to source. Either way, it's the same. So above, so below, right? And allow them, and then just to call back our energy in that calmness with breath, and just imagine it coming back to us, spinning as a spiral all around us, and we bring it back into ourselves. And so, there's this field, our aura, and it flows from our energy centers in our body, and it flows outward. And that's with everybody. And it's 6 feet. Isn't that interesting that it's six
Yep.
feet around us, right? No comment. But and when our auras connect, we get information. We get
Yep.
keys, codes from everybody, and they open up when we're ready. And so we have a lot to share with each other energetically that is so beautiful. And so I just want to, impart that on people, that this is something that they can do in the moment, understanding the flow of energy, learning about their energy and what it feels like, you know? And then so when someone comes into their space and it feels different, that doesn't mean you have to absorb it. It means you project yours forth and let your light shine. And that's what a lot of these light workers are doing, to bring in the positivity globally, even, in different countries and so forth. And I believe that we're planted everywhere to bring that forth. And so we don't have to look at the world in the way that that it's being projected, all this
Right.
negativity, that we can create our own reality. And the reality is, the universal law is that, like attract like. So if we can stay in love, then we're going to attract love.
Yep.
Instead of, if we attract fear, or if we're projecting fear, we're going to attract more of the same. And that's universal law. So we want to really be mindful of what we are, projecting and putting forth. And if we can do that, including the words that we have to say. I get caught up all the time about the words that, I am saying, because they can be like spell words. And so really being mindful of what we're projecting out to the universe and what we want to attract. So yeah, so that's what I was thinking, as far as the flow of energy and all of that. Hi, Tara. Good to
Yeah,
see you.
we have more people. Please, if you have a question, please state it and we'll answer it towards the last 10 minutes of the show. And
Yes.
interact, and thank you for joining us. This is great. Yeah, there's a lot of people. It is a fear-based right now. There's a lot of, there's a lot of people holding light, but there's a lot of
Yeah.
people caught in fear.
Yeah.
Not knowing what's going to happen, of what they see on TV and all that. And I love the tip of how to release it, how to let go of that. You don't have to carry that. And I think that's wonderful. I think that's just huge. And I know people are intuitive, and people want to build upon that. How can they become more intuitive? What can they do in their daily life to help them daily to trust what they get? Sometimes it's kind of like, because other people are saying other things, but your gut is saying not to do this or to do that. What is it that they can develop, or how can they strengthen their intuition? What do you
Yeah,
do with
exactly. And that,
intuition?
the
Yeah.
key is, again, it's like going to neutral and really trusting what they get and learn to trust themselves. And,
Okay. Yeah.
usually the first thing that, spirit is at a higher vibration, right? Our guides are at a higher vibration. And so, the earth is at 8.32 hertz, and our bodies
Right.
are at 65 hertz. And so the spirit world energetically is at 432, all the way up higher than that. And so when we think about that, it's about lifting ourselves up to that vibration. And what happens is that spirit, what I guess my point is when they come in, it can be very, very fast and very quick. So like if you're just like washing the dishes, or you're in a neutral spot and something gets dropped into your mind, or you're feeling or sensing something, that is spirit, and they're guiding you in that moment, and it's training yourself to grab onto that, right? And trusting that. And a lot of times when I first started out, it was like, I was getting that, but I wouldn't go that way because I wasn't trusting it. And then you realize, oh, I shouldn't have gone that way, and like, okay, I figured out that, that's not the way. So it's about trusting what you're getting in that moment. And what happens is, though, Sherry, is that it's very common for the logical brain to come in and try to say, did I just see that? Did I just feel that? Do I need to pay attention to that? This doesn't make sense, and we try to make sense out of it. And a lot of times we don't have enough information to make sense out of it. And so that's why I just want to give everybody the notion to trust that. It's trusting yourself and trusting your guides, and to go with it, because it's done out of love. And our guides and that intuition, you can follow it all day long. I'm telling you, it'll never take you astray, ever. And sometimes we can't see it because the circumstances are kind of showing something different. And so what I want to say is, don't just believe the circumstances in that moment, because the circumstances also can be a ripple effect of what you've thought of in the past, and it's now manifesting. So give it time to start to unfold for you, and allow that to unfold, and really, not trust the circumstances that are before your eyes. Trust spirit and trust yourself, and it will eventually manifest, and it will start to come together, and you'll be in the flow of spirit and in that positive energy. Yeah, that's what I want to say. So, yeah.
No, this is great.
Yeah, and Tara, thank you. Yes, choice of words, right? You've even called me on stuff, Tara. She says, "Oh, Rachelle, what are you saying?" And it's like, oh my gosh, you're right. Cancel. And so, and we do have to be mindful, because we can really, when we start to become in the flow of spirit, and we love spirit. See, the key is that one of the things, that we're not alone ever. We're not. And to we have a guide. And from a biblical perspective, it even says in Psalm 91:11 that we have an angel that is assigned to us for all of our days. And we have a protector, and our protector is always there. And this symbiotic relationship, as we start to develop it and trust it's just amazing. And then, you have the whole our spirit team, because we have a protector, we have a healer, we have a teacher, we have specialty guides that come in when we're starting something new. We have specialty guides that come in to help us with working with those things, right? And then you have the ascended masters that are amazing, because they can replicate themselves, and they can come in and help us and protect us and move us forward in a wonderful way. And so with that, utilizing our spirit team, one of the things that people tell me, they'll say, I'm worried. Cancel, cancel, cancel. I'm worried. Well, this is the thing about worry. When you're worried, spirit can't do anything with that. That's saying, I'm alone and I have to solve this problem by myself. And what happens is that if we can just start to say, give thanks for the outcome we want, okay, versus saying, I'm worried about this, say, spirit, thank you, because this is what I truly see, and I know you're going to bring this to me. And if you express gratitude from your heart, that is an energy that spirit can grab onto and start to move that forward for us. So that's the key. If we can get into gratitude, it's an amazing, amazing energy that spirit can work with. And they really start to, start to lay the crooked roads straight, so to speak. So we have a way of getting there. And I'm telling you, also too, a mother's prayer is amazing as well. So praying for the outcome that you want with your children, and it's just amazing. So
Very powerful.
Yeah, yeah. Trusting that divine flow. Yeah. Good morning, Tanya. Good to see you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah. So,
thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie Bird, she just joined.
Hi, Bonnie. Good morning. Yeah. Good to see you. Yeah.
Is there anything else you'd like to share before we close?
Yeah. Well, this is the thing too. I think it's really important that, we all have, okay, so this is the essence of our spirit, right? And what happens is, and we're all essence, the essence is within our heart, okay?
Yes.
And what happens is we get socialized, and we have traumas, and we have life experiences that come in, and it kind of coats the essence of our spirit. And then we have ego that protects us. And in this world, we need our ego, right? A little bit to navigate this world. But when we go into spirit, we have to remove all of that and get to the essence of who we are. And what happens is that, so trauma and all of that can play an important factor. And so what I want to say is that when we do have trauma, sometimes we're not fully in our body. We hang out in our aura. And so if you can just check yourself and see, and fully bring yourself into the body, and fully feel that within you, and just feel fully aligned, and bring love into your heart, and really feel that. And I think that would be very helpful to people who have experienced trauma, and then start to release. And we could do a whole nother thing on forgiveness, where it's not forgiving someone, it's about releasing that attachment and binding to that thing that's causing it, energetically, and to get stuck, and to remove that, so more of ourselves can come in, more of the precious you, because we all are precious. We all are. We're precious and we are so loved. And if we can just get into the feel of that, it and just releasing and allowing that to happen is really a beautiful thing. And that's really what I want to tell people. Yeah. Oh,
We're back.
Sherry, did we lose you? Oh, there
Yeah,
you are.
we both kind of disappeared, then we both came back, but it's okay. We've been having difficulties. It must be a lot of people on the internet today. It's the 4th of July. So.
Yeah, yeah. Oh gosh, yeah. Oh,
But
hi,
we could
Dawn.
still hear, everything was still going and the voice was still going.
Yeah, there was.
We definitely love, and definitely will have you back. We also want to know that there's a Tara that joined us. There's a Dolly and there is a Tanya Burley. Yay, Tanya. Thank you,
Yeah, good morning all. And then there's also Tina, which is be present.
Yes.
She's the lovely hero as well, bless her heart. And I want to say too, there were a couple questions that were asked, right?
Yes, and I will, yes, absolutely. And we have one from Beth Perry from Michigan, from Waterford. And anybody that's here can chat a question too. We got 10 minutes for questions. So the first question from Beth Perry is, I got to get my glasses on.
Okay.
Is what would be her advice? What would be your advice for developing being a medium? So what is your advice for that?
Oh, yeah. So, not to be self-promoting, but I do have a class on how to develop your mediumship naturally. What I do want to tell people is really research and feel if you connect with people, and is this someone that you're drawn to? Because there are many mediums out there, and seeking out multiple teachers, right? So I have a class that is the mechanics of mediumship. So I teach kind of the mechanics, but then we go into practice. It's like driving a car, right? You can read a book about driving a car, but once you get into driving, then you can do it, right? So we're teaching the mechanics right now, and I'm no holds barred, because a lot of times what happens is mediums, they hold a little bit back, and because they don't want to give all the secrets, and it's like I believe in sharing everything, and this is the secret sauce, okay? Because people will say, well, how do I connect? And they'll say, well, I just do. And it's like, that's so unfair. What does it feel like? What does it feel like to connect with spirit and so forth? And so I give everything that I know, I'm giving, because it's important. The more mediums we have out there, the better, because people are going to be drawn to you for your life experience. So the more mediums we have, the better. And so I just want to say that, and encourage people to check out my class. It is, if you go to the link of the classes, it's there. We're on week 3. We're doing it live, but there's also recordings from the last class, and there's a ton of content out there, including my workbook. So you mentioned my book, and I have a companion.
We'll be putting that up at the end. Absolutely. We're going to be showing your book. It's a beautiful cover, and you can feel the love of what's in that book. And we have another question. It's by Julie Moore Cypret. And the question is there a career door opening for me soon? So what are you getting for Julie?
Yeah, so it's really something with Julie. Hold on just a second.
She's in Florida.
Okay. So with Julie, I feel like she's a little bit all over the place, a little bit, but what I mean by that is she has a lot of talents and a lot of gifts, and she could go in many, many directions. And the way that I feel with her is that it's about really setting her intentions about what she wants. And I'm getting the feeling that the universe can't respond to her because she has all these different directions that she's considering. And what I want to tell her is exactly what makes her heart sing, really what she loves, is the direction she should go, and she needs to set her intentions about that direction. I feel like that there's something coming, but because of the confusing messages about what she truly wants, that's causing her some challenges. And I also see a lot of thoughts, like complex thoughts, where it's this. it's like she's got to calm the mind and come into the heart. And and really be, there is a new direction for her, but it's about her being authentic and real with herself. And I feel like if she can be authentic and really get to the true essence of who she is and really be honest with herself about where she wants to go, and then set her intentions, that's the way it's going to go. And she's going to manifest it quickly, but she has to really get clear on what she wants. And
Yep.
I can certainly help her with that if she wants more information. I'd be happy
Yes.
to help her with that. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's wonderful. And
Yeah.
we want to also share your book, because I know
Okay. Oh, hi,
some people
Tara.
that have joined us, and we have a Tara Ann
Yeah.
and
Oh,
we're
it's
so
so nice.
happy. Thank you guys all for joining us. We also want to share her book. And how can people get a hold of you?
Yeah.
Just take a
So,
second just to bring it up, and we're going to bring your book up because you have a beautiful book. You can still see us, but we want to bring your book up because there's so much love in her book. You can
thank you.
feel and cover everything. It's just beautiful.
Yeah. And so in this book, I really tell it all, but when we get into the class, we're going to be practicing all these things. And
Okay.
I really give all the tools, everything that I have. I try to break it down so people can understand it.
Yep.
And really, it's a great reference book. And, I started this book and it was going to go in one direction, and then it went the other direction. So I have other books that I want to write, but Spirit really guided this one to get the message out there on everything. And I do have a companion workbook. Actually, if you go to my website, RachelleGehman.com,
Yes.
and you put in the promo code of heartfelt, all in caps, for the workbook, you can get it for free. It's only $5, but you can actually get that for free. And the book is actually out on Amazon, so they can buy it that way. But the companion workbook, put in the promo code heartfelt, and it's free. It's a 60-page PDF that is out there that has exercises and everything. And we're actually using that in the class. It's out there with the class as well, but there's expanded content on all of that, like guided meditations, understanding, energy, frequency, and vibration, and so forth. And then also too, with that, so they can actually, you asked them how to get a hold of me. There is a contact form on my website, but they can also email me at RachelleGehman.com. So it's Rachelle@RachelleGehman.com. And would be happy to engage and talk and so forth. I really am passionate, and I love Spirit so much. And I just want everybody to have their own connection with Spirit. I would love for every medium to be out of business because of the fact that this is something that is our birthright. We can all do it and learn the energy of healing and know how much they love us so much, So it's good. I'm so grateful to see everybody. Toral and Tara,
Yes.
Tanya, and Tina. Oh my, we got a lot of T's. That's what happens to me. They all come in. and Debbie, so good to see you. And Bonnie, it's really wonderful. And so, are there any other questions? Does everybody, Toral, yes, Toral has done amazing work. She really has, as far as, releasing a lot of things. So, making room for her gifts. And the same thing with Tara. I mean, all these people are working, and it's so beautiful to see how, what happens is that when you do this, you start to see the light that comes into their eyes, and you can feel the love around them, and and they really come into their soul, and their expression of their soul. And it's so beautiful, Sherry. It really is. I'm sure you've seen that with the people that you worked with too.
Yeah, we're so happy to have you, and we're definitely going to have you come back. And we also had a Vicki Morrison that just joined us.
Hi, Vicki,
for joining us. And we want to say absolutely, this has been wonderful, Rachelle. We definitely are going to have you back. We'll have some new topics with you as well. You're amazing, and like I said before, she's authentic And I like how she gives it all. So many do hold back if you do their classes or things, but no, we're meant to give it all. And
Yes.
that's the whole point. And to me, you're amazing. And we had really good feedback about you and just love having you on our show. We want to remind somebody, if you guys didn't capture her information, please go to our website, sherrylord.com/forward podcast, and you can get her information there. There are links right to her website, and upcoming events are coming too of who will be on our show. And you can also read more about her, but it's easy. If you didn't capture it here, you can go to the website to check it out. And we also ask that you please like us on Facebook. I have 4 pages, but we decided to do our own podcast page called Podcast Talk Show. So if you can like us and help share it so we can get it out there and reach more people. And if you want to be a guest on our show, go to the sherrylord.com/podcast. Information is there to be a guest on our show. And we just love you and thank you. And we appreciate every soul that's come to join us and all who will be watching. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and happy Independence Day, everybody.
Yay, yes. Thank you.